and gentlemen, this is the Round Circle Podcast with your host, the Fifth General, Zaccheus and Cinemascapes. What's good?
Yeah, what's good?
What's good, man? Happy belated.
Oh, thank you.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you for that. My birthday was April 7th. All right. So let's get into it. We're going to talk briefly about Cardi B. We're going to talk about female MCs, Nicki Minaj, all that good stuff. We're going to talk about the current situation with Bill Cosby's case. Okay. And we're going to talk about what happened, the recent events that have happened in the video that is going viral with the two brothers who got arrested in Starbucks. We'll actually talk about the Starbucks one before the Bill Cosby. We'll end off with Bill Cosby. So let's first get into it, straight into it. So Cardi B drops an album, you know, that album that people have been waiting for because Bodak Yellow had been out for like almost a year. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and say this about Cardi B. I haven't listened to the album, so I can't talk about it. But let me just say this before I get into some questions. Bodak Yellow was a huge hit in terms of billboards, you know, numbers and stuff like that. It's also a single that got her paid a lot of money. I mean, if you wanted her to do a show, you wanted her to do a set, just that one song, you know, her value and what she put in, you know, Love and Hip Hop also helped too, her exposure. You know, it basically made her kind of like an artist that I guess you would say an artist that you want to take serious because, you know, she had other songs because she's had mixtapes throughout the years and stuff like that. And you know, material that she had put out. But it didn't really jump like Bodak Yellow.
Right.
So I would say that her coming of age is impactful in this way. This is somebody who, you know, who's an open book, you know, things that, you know, she has done and where she came from, you know, her being an ex-stripper. Let's keep it real. You know, these are things that that people would say would hurt a woman's career first coming up, her image. You know, it didn't hurt Eve because Eve was a stripper too. You know, so
I didn't know.
Yeah, Eve was there's pictures. But anyway, so so this is somebody who's an open book, and you know whether you like her from the show. I hear you laughing back there.
My bad.
You know whether it's somebody from the show, because you know Love and Hip Hop, you know whatever. Whether we like the show or not, everybody watches it. She's used that to launch a platform. It's worked for K Michelle. It's working for Safari. You know, people who we didn't necessarily know until the show. I can't count Ray J because we knew Ray J before Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. We knew Ray J before that.
And
so I'm not
platinum.
Right. So I'm not counting him. Just the ones we really didn't know until the show started. I can't even say Stevie J because I knew who Stevie J was before Love and Hip Hop. Yeah, anyway, let me get to my point. So so I'm gonna ask you, Zaccheus, get in on this. Do you think her album, Cardi B's album, based off of the success of Bodak Yellow, should have came out sooner?
I guess it came out at the right time, and she spaced it out. And that single Bodak Yellow was playing on the radio. I think it was it was playing consistently. It was on heavy rotation, man, and
hit number 3 in August last year.
Yeah, that's how you want to promote an album where you have a single that's being rotation, heavy rotation, and then a gift like an album. I mean, that would make you want to push an album when you have a single that can circulate like that. I mean, it was good. And then being of Dominican and from the Bronx, it put New York City. It put the New York hip hop, you know, and that's what I like about that too, you know. And how she came up. She came up from humble beginnings. You know, and she was a stripper. People don't look. People like all the generation don't look too well of people that strip.
Right, but we're in a different time now, so this might explain some things.
She came up though. She came up after the stripper. She had something else to work on, and she worked on it and craft. She perfected a craft. She worked on it, and now it's here. You know, it don't have to end. I guess the message she's trying to say, don't have to end being a stripper.
Yeah.
You don't have. You know, you don't have to be you know, and being. You can do other things to put yourself to be respectable and put yourself to be out there as a force to be reckoned with. You ain't gotta settle just to, because when people think about strippers, especially the older generation, they think about it's life, and it's no good. You know, it's a no good profession, and all you're doing is just shaking your you know what for money. But the thing is,
that is the truth though. Other than strippers also being known for alleged prostitution. I'm not saying that about Cardi. I don't want no problems. I'm just saying these are the things that are linked to, stereotypically they're linked to strippers, that they don't just strip. They also, after the club closes down, or maybe in some back rooms, there's some things going down. I'm saying these are the things that are tied stereotypically to strippers. I don't know nothing. I don't know anything about what Cardi did, so I'm not saying her, but I'm just saying, this is what they say about strippers. Zaccheus, I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue.
People that surrounded her, certain people that pushed their music, believed in her, and it just go to show you that you don't have to, traditional way. Oh, I go to college and I'll be big, or you can come from anywhere if you have a motivation and you have the drive and maybe some positive people behind you to push just your product. It can get out there and you can push it. You don't have to go the traditional way. I've heard this many times. Oh, because he didn't go to college, he ain't gonna mount to anything. Oh, because he didn't go to college, this is what he gets. Or this is because he didn't go to college, this is it. Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that millions of times over the years growing up, and millions of times from my family and so forth and so forth. Millions of times I heard this. Cardi B is an example of how to go the traditional way. Okay, I was a stripper, but guess what? I'm here now. Look what I'm doing now.
Yeah, well,
notice, and I really admire her for that one.
I'm gonna get this. So I'm gonna get you in just 1 second. I got a follow-up question, Zaccheus. So could it be that her come up is only time will tell? Is her come up looking to be similar to oh wait, no, I'm not gonna say Nicki. Because it's not necessarily the same. But do you think people are looking to Cardi because Cardi is not so much her flow, but her personality is different? Or is it that her music is that good? What do people like her for? Do they like her for her music, or do they like her for her personality? I mean, because she's been on Love and Hip Hop for maybe 3 seasons. Not sure. Maybe. So, Love and Hip Hop New York. So, what do you think people's infatuation with her is? Zaccheus.
Okay, I think it's both.
Okay.
I think it's both. I definitely think it's both because, dudes look at her like candy eye.
Yeah, she's attractive.
Yeah, I think it's both because she has the looks, she has the charisma. Now hip hop. So that's how I got. I said, "Oh, there's a beautiful Dominican girl there. You know, it's Latino."
Zaccheus, I need you to repeat that. The
Love
audio
and hip-hop.
dropped out.
I didn't know that she was. I didn't know that she was. I didn't know that she rapped. I didn't know that she was into music when I seen her. I didn't know that. I just see a girl, you know, sticking her tongue out, you know, and she has a crazy, you know, Latino accent. You know,
No, you said it right the first time. Her Spanish accent is strong.
She has a Latino accent.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, there she is. I didn't know that I didn't know she was into music like that. You know, that surprised me. You know.
Okay. If you could pick one or the other, I'm about to get to cinema. If you could pick one or the other, what do you think people like more? Her personality or her music?
That's a good one.
I'm gonna tell you why I asked that question. I'll tell you why. Because we have the music entertainment industry, and then we have your overall entertainment industry. What will she be remembered for, all said and done? Well, wait. That's kind of hard to say because it's still early. Today, what is she more known for, or at least liked for? Do you think it's her music or her personality? Let me phrase it this way. When people talk about Cardi B, what's the first thing they mention? Her record or her?
I'm gonna go with her. They love her personality. I think that some people can relate to her personality. Some women, because she comes off that you know, she's that down to earth kind of person. You know, she seems, you know, it looks like she's herself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's her persona, her personality. I think it's that people are attracted to, and then she's in other words, she's herself. You know, she always saying, "I'm from the Bronx." Yeah, I'm the Bronx, and just who she is. People like that, and then the music just adds on to it. So I think it's her. You know.
Great answer, because I actually agree with that. Great answer. Cinema. I'm gonna give you different questions. All right. What is Cardi B's impact in terms of female MCs currently right now in today's hip hop?
Well, the fact that her single went platinum, her first single went platinum, that was kind of historic. Yes. It's kind of given space. It's the next step.
Yeah, her first major single. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You know, you go out first and you hit platinum. It started number one. It initially hit number 3 in August. Then then eventually, as November then came around, number 1, not just hip hop. You know.
Yeah.
That that, you know, the Billboard is the chart that if you're an artist, that's the one you want to top.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, as a female artist, you know, with everything that's going on, Me Too and all the other stuff, and you know what women had to deal with, have had to deal with coming up.
Yeah.
You know, and then we still don't even have the equal pay or nothing.
Yep.
This is huge.
Yeah.
This is huge for women in rap.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then the whole thing about Cardi is, we even saw on the show, everyone told her no, but she worked and she grinded.
Mm-hmm.
This says something about her as a person, whether you like, you know, some people, you know, I saw a comment. I'm not going to blow up the Facebook friend, but I saw a comment, you know, I don't like her voice, you know, despite that, all of that, or what people would see as a negative, she knew what she wanted. She knew her audience and she knew what she wanted and she worked for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like every time you see something, like when they were doing the Finesse single, he was on tour and they met up, said, keep being you, hardworking. That's what everyone keeps saying about her. You're the same person I've always known. Keep being you, and you're working hard. And that's why we love you. It shows a lot about perseverance. It shows the change of acceptance of women, like in the mainstream, because you know how long even as someone as lyrical as Latifah, how hard she had to work before she got props. She was out there a while.
Yep.
You know, and what she first dropped was fire. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, and it really kind of started with Shantae because you needed somebody who was unapologetic, because otherwise you just disappear, you know?
True.
If you don't have fight in you, especially in this industry as a woman with more stuff up against you.
No, that's true. Because
if you don't have that fight, yeah.
That's true. I'm gonna just say this real quick. I'm gonna get back to you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Yo-Yo exists today because of Roxanne.
Right.
I mean, think about it. If we look at the Ice Cube when he brought Yo-Yo out and the way she was, yeah, Queen Latifah too, yes, but there's a connection with Roxanne Shantae and Yo-Yo. There is in terms of the unapologetic part you're talking about, unapologetically female, and you know, I'm gonna say what I want, but at the same time, you know, don't look at me as weak because I'm a woman.
Right.
Yo-Yo has that. Queen Latifah has that, obviously.
And
you know,
I want to mention somebody else who died. MC Trouble.
MC Trouble.
We didn't even get to see her whole career. Trouble was one of my favorite female MCs. I would have loved to see, you know, but she passed away, but you know, gone too soon. MC Trouble. Yeah. After she only got to do one album.
Yeah, she was something else.
Explain that. Explain more of that for people who
MC. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Go.
She was a female rapper who was out around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, we had Pump It Up and stuff. She was on there. And she was good. And she had her own sound and her own style. And then we got into her. And then all of a sudden, she passed. Like, in the midst of her come up. She didn't even get to complete her come up. We were waiting for another album. You know, it's just very excellent album. Check it out. I need to check to see if that's on Apple Music myself.
Yeah.
I'm glad when we have discussions like this, you remember things, because there's so much in history that, you know, one person can't remember everything.
That's real.
But
no.
She was somebody my brother put me on to, you know, and me and my brother listened to a lot of underground. So, you know, you see the videos on Pump It Up, and then you start seeing all the hip hop shows and stuff. And her album, she was no joke. She was lyrical too. And you didn't get to like judge your whole career. You just had to judge what you had in your hand because the life got cut short. And I forgot how she died. It was a condition or something. I don't want to say anything inaccurate on air.
I hear you.
About it.
Yeah, but it was a tragedy, and it was unexpected. And, you know, it's kind of like the Big L scenario. You only got one album. And it's classic material, but you're like, man, what if we would have got more and hear more? Or where would you gone? How would it develop?
Yeah.
Like, you know, Biggie and Pac dying, you know, changed the direction of hip hop. Now, if they were alive, hip hop would be another direction. We'll never know what that is.
That's true, because they were a reflection of the industry and how they operated with artists at the time as well. That's important too.
And so you had Trouble, and she was making noise. I loved Trouble, and so you get cut short. So in that, with Yo-Yo and all of that going on, then there's other female MCs we haven't mentioned, don't have time, but yeah,
right.
But in that echelon, she's done something. She's not only, you know, she hasn't just made noise.
Yeah.
She's made progress.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's a reason why I respect Cardi B. I follow her on Instagram. I ain't even gonna front.
Wow.
She's made progress. And you know, she's co-hosting with Fallon.
Yeah.
And her performances on Saturday Night Live were very good. And you know me, I love going to live shows and stuff, you know. if I give you props live, I have mad respect for you. You know, even, you know, like I like seeing people live, even if I don't feel the music, because there's just something about the live vibe with me where I could get down. If I feel you, I feel you.
I have to look up her live performances because, to be honest with you, I have not seen a video of her
and then
performing live.
You could get the easiest one to find is the recent Coachella.
Okay.
And then the baby bump reveal on Saturday Night Live was nice because the first song she was covered.
Yeah.
So, but it was part of the theatrics. You know, it's very good showmanship and great execution live.
I think, and then we're gonna have to get to the next topic. I just want to say real quick. I think her is a particular situation. Here's an advantage that she has over a lot of female MCs. She actually has the same advantage that K. Michelle had. And that advantage is you get to see the person before we see the art.
Right.
You know? And so people were able to already like her on the show. So then she comes up with music that happens to be, you know, of a particular time that people like. And then people say, wow, you know, I actually like what she got. But I like her and I want to support her. I want to see her win. I think the support system that she has and the good, she's with, I think, Atlantic Records, if I'm not mistaken. So she's in good company in terms of business. I would say her being here's the thing, she's funny. She seems real. We get to see her personality. And she seems humble. Now, that's attractive too, to a business. If I want to work with you, and let's just put it like this. Yeah, she does look good. That helps. Let's just keep it real. You know, is lyrical and as gifted as that of a Jean Grey or Rhapsody is. They don't look like Cardi B. But if they did, I'm pretty sure there would be more behind them. And this is no disrespect to both of these women because they are both extremely gifted. Jesus Christ. I don't want to battle with them lyrically. But especially Jean Grey. You know, Rhapsody drops an album about a few months ago. Maybe not even that long ago, maybe 2 months ago or whatever. Rhapsody makes good music. Rhapsody can spit. Rhapsody was on Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly album on that song Complexion. You know? And so but she don't look like that of a Cardi B or a Nicki Minaj. You know what I'm saying? So you don't see that same team and support behind them, but I bet you if they did, then you would see something different. But K. Michelle looked good.
Yeah.
But K. Michelle can sing. I don't want it. That's kind of, let me be a little better with that because that's almost like saying that K. Michelle don't have talent. Nah, K. Michelle got talent. K. Michelle can sing. That is a fact. She can sing. So I will be careful with that one. And I don't want no problems, K. Michelle, because I heard about who you roll with. But anyway, word.
But
I don't want nobody running up on me. But
let me say one more thing about the music business that people may not understand, even with good looks and stuff.
Yeah,
it's like you could make a Bomb Squad album, but the whole thing is, do I feel you? Because the whole thing is, you have to be able to communicate through that music. Because there's a lot of albums I listen to that was a great album, but then there's something I feel. I'll give you an example of a song I feel. The last track on Bruno Mars' 24K Magic, Too Good to Say Goodbye. Not that I don't even feel the rest of the album. That's one of my favorite albums in the last couple of years, beginning to end. That had no skippers for me. 24 Karat Magic.
Yeah.
Whatever y'all think, I don't care. That album was it. But then that album, because until you got there, I love That's What I Like was my favorite song. Mm-hmm. And then I love Versace on the Floor the first time I heard it. But then we get to that last song, and that had a more Motown-y Jackson 5 vibe to it. But it didn't sound like a Jackson 5 song. It had that vibe with Bruno we've known in the past, combined it together in some sick vocals, but I related to the song. A lot of what Cardi speaks, a lot of people can relate to it. A lot of stuff we speak as artists, sometimes people don't relate to it, but they know it's hot. But when a song connects to you on that level, that's when you're listening to it. Nobody has to force you. You're just feeling it. And so, and so us knowing her and then hearing her express herself, we know that's a genuine thought that she's expressed, but now we're feeling it because we, that, and that's speaking to the advantage you said of us meeting her first.
Yeah.
And then hearing the art because we know that's her. Because you don't know, like if you just pick up a CD, you don't know if it's fabricated. Oh, I need to see this dude live. Okay, then you start seeing what they're about. Okay, that's what they're really about. But then there's people who change styles album to album. I ain't gonna say no names because we don't have time.
Well, I don't want to miss this.
I don't want to go over, but I want to just finish up the thought with Cardi.
Yeah.
Is you felt her because you've gotten to know her and you've gotten to know what she's about. And so she puts out art reflecting that. And that's good.
Good. Something just came to me and I want your opinion on this, both of y'all. The timing is the timing is interesting. Let's go back a little earlier. Remy Ma gets out. Yeah. Not only does she get out, but it's almost like she picks up where she left off. Exactly. She gets back with Fat Joe. Everything is peace. You know what I'm saying? And then, they dropped their album together. I think about what I think they dropped like what was that? What was that song? I can't believe I'm forgetting it. What was
Way up.
All the Way Up. There we go.
Yeah.
All the Way Up. And then we got Money Showers.
Right. You
know what I'm saying? So 2 big singles. I actually like both of these records, to be honest with you. I like both of them. 2 good songs. I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard All the Way Up, I didn't like it at first. I thought the beat was annoying. I did. I thought it wasn't pleasant to the ears at first, my ears. And then Money Showers came out. That song with what's my man's name? Ty Dolla $ign singing on the hook. I like that record. I actually like that record. That record reminds me of some of the older Fat Joe records that he used to really do well from. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely Fat Joe's style. But then what happens? She gets into this thing with Nicki, washes Nicki on Sheetha. She washed Nicki. Okay? And then here comes.
So wash this.
What happened? Say it again, Zaccheus. Dang, the audio. Come on, audio.
Come back.
Okay, Zaccheus, say that one more time. What'd you say?
Nicki.
Okay, he keeps cutting out every time he talks. Let me just move on. So
Nicki couldn't even come back.
Right. Well, she came back with 3 singles, aka 3 bricks that didn't do well. I mean, they No Frauds and some other 2 records I don't know the name of. Them records was trash. Okay. So but anyway, and then here comes Cardi B. So I find it interesting that Remy Ma washes Nicki, and Nicki pretty much goes into hiding. And then here comes Cardi B. It's almost like I'm not saying Remy Ma caused this, but it's almost like it was an interesting chain of events. Sheetha comes out. Remy's doing well. Cardi B's doing well. And then Nicki is now coming back, with this Chung Lee record. People are saying it's good. I haven't heard it. So this is why I brought this up. Zaccheus, do you think it's a coincidence that this happens? Do you think Cardi B's success has somewhat to do with Nicki's absence?
It could be that. It could be that. You know what? At the time when Nicki came out, she was the only female rapper that was doing so. I mean, she came out with a bang, and because before her there was no. There was Little Kim, but Little Kim Little Kim was not putting out records anymore. She did it. Little Kim did her thing, and
neither was Foxy Brown. Neither was Missy Elliott.
Brown was missing in action. She did her thing, dropped a few hot singles, dropped some songs and the records and everything. And but Nicki Minaj came out, and people were waiting for Nicki Minaj to come out at that time, in that moment. They were waiting for a female MC to have sex appeal, to be hot on records, to be. Nicki Minaj flow is different. Character, crazy character voice where she puts on when she's flowing, And I think so when Nicki Minaj was in a way, I won't say faded. Well, in a way, she was getting featured on some tracks and some music. Boom! Here comes Cardi B.
Yeah.
What Cardi B did was just put the certified stamp on MCs. Female MCs will come out more, but they have to come out like almost like her. And then we forgot to say Young M.A. too. Young M.A.
Young M.A. had, Ooh, and what else?
But she
other than that single, what else did she have? Young M.A.
Something else she had after that. I'm trying to remember.
She had Ooh in the Ooh remix.
The Ooh remix, yeah.
The point I'm making is that wasn't enough.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. When I first heard her, I thought she was a dude, but that's beside anyway. I really did, but yeah, but I said okay. Now they needed somebody like Cardi B. Female rapper MC. Oh, boom! Here she comes. I guess the game needed that. To answer the question, yes. Cardi B was like a refreshment, like wow, yeah. And here goes another female.
And you're saying so you're saying, like I said, Remy washes Nicki, and then Cardi B is getting all this attention due to Nicki's absence.
Cardi's getting a lot of attention now, a whole lot.
Yeah. I'm laughing at what you said earlier about Young M.A. Anyway, because I thought the same thing too. Yo, Cinema, what's your opinion on that? And then we're gonna move on to our next topic.
Sometimes it's just opportunity comes at the,
That's true.
That's how Nicki had trouble with Iggy Azalea. She wasn't doing nothing at the time, and then Iggy dropped something.
Oh. Wow. Almost forgot about Iggy Azalea. We was talking about her off air.
But I'm just talking about timing.
Yeah.
Like, people take time off with their families and stuff. That's why a lot of people are afraid to take too much time off as artists, because you do kind of leave a gap.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, it's happened. Well, where's, a lot of people like tanking them are underground now. They're not getting played on radio.
Sadly.
People want to hear R&B. Here comes Bruno Mars.
That's what Tyrese said.
Is it Bruno Mars' fault though?
It's not Bruno's fault, but it sounds like what Tyrese was saying a year ago.
Yeah, but
about that one guy. Sam Smith, is that his name?
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Because if you're not getting radio play, or the game has changed. The radio, hit Hot 100 radio plays about 10 songs, 10 to 15 songs in rotation.
Over and over and over.
Exactly. So there's limited space.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they're just jumping over what gets popular. And so they're not going to play everything. And, unless you live in a city like, we got stations here in Philly that you could listen to R&B, old school R&B and stuff during the day. But, if you don't live in a place that has stations like that, or you're not on satellite radio or something, you're listening to they got franchises and radio stations, brothers and sister stations, and they play everything in every state the same. It wasn't like that when we were coming up.
Yeah.
You had a station in the city that had the sound of the city, but now everyone's got Hot 100, everyone's connected on the internet, and everyone's the same. So, okay, Nicki's in that hot radio thing, but nothing's coming out. Then this Bodak Yellow comes across, and people are liking it, and they start requesting it. So what are you going to do? You don't have nothing else coming out from this artist. You're going to put the artist that's hot at the time. It happens like that.
Right.
That's what happened to New York rappers. They have nothing out, and then they started playing stuff from the South in New York, and people got mad. But what are we playing? That's like when hip hop was almost not being played on Hot 96 back in the, and then Award Tour came out, and Tribe saved hip hop on radio in New York.
Nice.
Back then.
Nice.
Midnight Marauders.
Nice.
Nothing was out before Midnight Marauders came. We was hungry and thirsty, and Tribe dropped a classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you in a desert waiting for hip hop.
It was the West Coast before that. Actually,
right.
Yeah.
And they had started putting West Coast stuff in rotation. People were mad.
It was the West Coast.
Then us in New York, I was younger.
Yeah.
New York, we was thirsty for some,
we was.
Please. And don't even try to say I don't like West Coast. We was listening to the Chronic in New York a year before everybody else, before they even knew it was real.
Yeah.
So I'm not even saying that.
No, we're just saying that the West Coast was dominating the charts before Midnight Marauders came out.
Right.
Yeah.
And so even New York radio wasn't doing it, and they were, Hot 97 was going more toward R&B. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and then a whole new era came out on the East. So you had both again. It brought the balance back.
That's true.
And so, you're dealing with things like that. So Cardi B steps in. There's nobody around. She minding her own business. She ain't even concerned with that. She's been, as you see on the show, she's been trying to do this anyway.
Yeah.
And so the timing just worked out for her.
True.
Some things work out like that for people. And some people got to fight through.
That's true.
Like you said, Tyrese. Tyrese is that double or that last album.
Yeah.
That Black Rose.
Yeah.
Album's ridiculous.
Yeah. But
ain't nobody wanted to play it.
Right. Well, respect to him for doing it independently.
Right.
So I think there's an agenda against Tyrese musically.
But the whole thing is, if you're not with a label, you're not on that Billboard 100 radio.
Yeah.
He'll get played other places, but it's like, payola started back then, but now payola has become more advanced, where now there's legalized payola.
Exactly.
But,
yeah.
We're not even talking. And so if you're an artist, you're out here making it for the love. So somebody makes music, people feel it. And then the whole thing is, if you make a big enough audience, they just grab you anyway and bring you in the party. Because her label was smart enough to realize, let's make an album with her.
Yeah. I think I'm going to say this last thing, and then we got to move on to our next topic. I think the reason why Cardi B's album was a little later than expected, because they didn't expect Bodak Yellow to pop like that. So they had to immediately do this. They said, okay, we got to make sure that you actually got something, and then put this project out, and then we're going to take advantage of some features. I'm going to say that this feature with Bruno Mars helped keep the conversation about her until her album was going to drop. Because I think it got to a point where people were saying Cardi put up a shut up. She gets on this single with Bruno Mars. It does extremely well. Extremely well.
Yeah.
And then now they put out another single that was okay. And then we're where we are today with her. Now her album is out. So I think that record label, Atlantic, I think she's with Atlantic. I think what's going on is it's very smart as far as what they did with their strategy with having her link up with Bruno Mars, because Bruno Mars is with Atlantic, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yeah.
So that was a record label move.
I'll see with Warner Brothers. Give me a sec.
Yeah, let's get this info.
I hear what you're saying, because basically that song Finesse, I love that song before Cardi was on it.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they just added another thing if you heard the song, they changed some of the vocals.
Right.
Because he did some new vocals on some parts. I don't know exactly, but they changed some things. But the song's just a little longer than the album version.
Yep, I was right. He's with Atlantic.
Yeah. And so, that would be a great mutual decision. So you have both of them. You extend the song, let her put a verse on it, which is hot. Make a fat video, which he directed, that Bruno directed, because of all his success, he's getting more creative control. And then, you give like a dedication to In Living Color too, with nostalgic and that sound from that time. And then, that dude and his choreography and his dances, they be killing it on the regular.
Yeah, that was definitely a record label move, because they're label mates, and that was a good time to do it.
And it was recorded while he was out on tour. So after a show, they got that together real quick. And that's smart. And that's striking when the iron's hot. And because you're working to get an album done. And if you've never done an album, it's work.
Exactly.
So if you need to finish a few things off, you need to put something out there to hold people over till you can get it done.
Exactly. Let's move on. I'm gonna give this to you, Cinema. Talk about the situation that happened that's going viral this whole week. About the situation that happened in Philly at a Starbucks with these two brothers who were realtors. By the way, let's talk about that video that went viral.
Okay. For those who've been listening to the show, y'all know I live in Delaware, like right under. I go for concerts. I have family working in Pennsylvania and whatnot. So this is right here. This is on my local news all the time. And the two brothers go into Starbucks to go wait for a friend. I'll read the article from the Philly Inquirer. Mm-hmm. In arrest at Starbucks in Philadelphia. ADL calls for workers to undergo training. Basically, Starbucks is grappling with a controversy after two black men were arrested at a Center City shop last week. Number one, Center City is where everything is, like the Eagles Parade,
downtown Philly,
Villanova
basically.
Parade, downtown Philly.
Yeah.
Everyone goes to Center. Everyone goes up to Philly from Delaware, Chester, the surrounding cities, and then this is if you know anything about the population of Philly. It's not like it's more black people than anybody in the city, not the state of Pennsylvania. I'll be clear about that. The Anti-Defamation League calls for Starbucks employees to undergo mandatory implicit bias training. And there have been protests, which they haven't been showing natural. The next day they've been protesting because basically when they got down to it, after all the facts came in, the people were sitting there. The manager called the cops. And basically, in Philadelphia policy, what the manager called the cops for is not something you would call the cops for Starbucks or their practices. It says in this article, there was a mutual separation. Basically, person got fired. It was a mutual, last week, the person has left the company. And what Starbucks spokeswoman called a mutual decision. Mm-hmm. Activists have demanded the firing of the manager, who called police on the men Thursday as they were waiting to meet a white acquaintance in a coffee shop at 18th and Spruce Street. See, that's also not told in national media. A video of the
I knew
arrest
that one.
went viral, and some people have, but not all of them. A video of the arrest went viral and has sparked a national outrage and led the company's CEO to apologize. As we're recording this on the Monday, and this will be out Friday, the CEO is here and the people have agreed to meet him face to face. He wanted to do a face-to-face apology because basically, if you know anything about Starbucks, we do that in New York. We go in, and then if you're going to go eat with somebody, so all these people like, buy something, buy something. If you're going to eat with somebody, are you going to buy food before they get there?
Nope.
And be rude and be eaten, and they got to go order? No, he gets there. Okay, we go up order together. We eat. We're there to eat and meet and drink or whatever. We're meeting someone, and they might have been late. Basically, somebody next to them was also doing that. And basically what happened, the police were called, and they weren't removed or asked to leave. They were arrested. Zaccheus.
Yes, Zaccheus, go ahead.
I need to hear your take on that.
Oh, it's just crazy, man. It's just, to me, when I first heard it, I just said, this is just blatant racism right here, man. Because I could see, that's never happened to a white person going into Starbucks. And they hang out all the time at Starbucks. Not even eating nothing, hanging out, reading a book. People go and study, you know, they go and get their read on. You don't even have to buy anything, you know, just sitting there in a table with your friends talking, whatever. There's so much people that meet up in Starbucks, it's not even funny. And for them to happen to them, brothers, it's just like, them guys are being stereotyped. To be sitting there just sitting out there waiting for a friend or waiting for someone to come in and talk business with them, and then next thing you know, the cops are being called. That it to me is like, should we be worried about going and sitting at Starbucks now and sit down just so when we go into Starbucks we gotta buy something automatically right away?
Yeah.
Even if we're waiting on somebody to waiting on somebody in Starbucks, then wait. I mean, to me, when I heard that, I said, "This is wow. It's getting. If this is not worse, I think it's getting bad, man."
I got another question for you, Zaccheus.
Easy,
Would
man.
you expect this to happen in Philadelphia?
Like I said, we've only been to Philadelphia once, and I see Philadelphia got a population is the black.
Let me I mean, this is not like Kansas. This is not like in a small town in the middle of nowhere, Texas or Alabama or places that are known for this type of behavior. You know, we're talking Northeast, you know, 2 hours under where you live, 20 minutes up from where I live. In areas where, you know, in the area where we live, would you, in the middle of downtown, Center City, are you shocked? That's what I'm really trying to get to.
Well, you know what it is? Us as brothers, we get stereotyped all the time. We walk on the street, we get stereotyped.
Mm-hmm.
We stand in a corner. Just hanging out. We're already a target already for stereotype. So no, I'm not so surprised. No, this is that.
Sure.
That is so many stories of just being pointing stereotype for every little thing that we don't have to do anything. It's just a few months ago. No, actually, it was last year where a brother was trying to cross to go to. He was coming home from work, and they had construction. And I guess he didn't see the sign right away, and automatically the cops are harassing him. They're taking his book bag, they throw him on the floor. He's getting handcuffed.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not surprised, because this is many stories like. I'm not surprised at this at all. No,
mm.
it's It just happened to be in Starbucks. We're sitting in Starbucks waiting,
Exactly.
waiting for somebody to meet us. That could have happened to me and you.
Exactly.
We go to Starbucks and somebody want to meet us. Let's go. So we sit in Starbucks and all of a sudden the cops are called. Like, what do we do? I mean, because when they got arrested, I want to know on what charges, or what grounds, and what charges.
Yeah, and now they're dropped. And then another thing that
that means everybody in Starbucks is trespassing. Then that's what I would say to them. That means everybody else here is trespassing too,
right?
Because we're sitting here and I'm waiting on a friend to come, and now the cops are being called for what? It just
yeah. And fifth,
this goes back.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Cinema. What was you about to ask? Because you know me.
Yeah, I know. Fifth, and I'm gonna ask you a loaded question on purpose because you know me. Now, talking about the police response, and the chief of police in Philadelphia is black, and basically, I don't know what he's saying today, but when it first happened, he was saying the officers were justified. You know what I'm saying?
He still stands by that.
I know he probably still does, but the CEO has come and dropped charges. CEO don't stand by it.
Yeah.
The CEO and the fact is that the man wants to be a man and apologize to these guys and meet with them face to face.
He's done more than anybody else. Who's during situations like this. I'll say that. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And yeah, exactly. And Mayor Kenny instantly denounced it. Philadelphia's mayor, and like I said, I've been seeing this like day by day breakdown. They're not national coverage. This is local for me.
Right.
We've talked about this. What do you think of the stance of the police, and what do you think should be done about this stance? If you think something should be done, and how do you feel about this guy?
So I'm gonna answer it like this. This has become a question of two things. It is a question of, okay, who are we really mad at? Are we mad at the Starbucks store? Because it's not necessarily the business that I'm upset with. It's the person who owns the store. Because let's be real, this could have happened at a local Pot Pies. This could have happened at a McDonald's. This could have happened at a Burger King. This could have happened at a Dunkin' Donuts. So to me, this has nothing to do with Starbucks as a business per se. It has a lot to do with who owns the store. I hope y'all hear me on this, everybody. Now, I'm telling the audience. Because even though Philadelphia is predominantly black according to the census, the businesses are not owned by predominantly blacks. Facts. So this is what happens when you don't own your own Starbucks. You get this situation. You get a situation that we've been having to deal with since Jim Crow, before Jim Crow. This is one of the reasons why we've had sit-ins in our history. We've had sit-ins at lunch counters and all types of stuff. This is why we have stuff like this, and the thing is that this is a system of white supremacy. Let's also not forget. And it doesn't matter what you're doing there. It's the fact that you're there, and all they got to do is say something about what you're doing. And there is no, we come in peace when the police arrive when it comes to assessing the situation. Because I'm very disappointed in the police, the way they assess the situation, but I'm not surprised because this is how they always do. They always take the position of cops got caught on some black folk. He's a threat. I thank God they ain't dead.
Exactly.
How about that? I'm glad they didn't get shot up like Stephon Clark.
Exactly.
That's what I'm happy about. I'm glad that didn't happen. I hate that they got arrested for that. I do. But I'm so glad they didn't pump 20 rounds into them, or 50 rounds, or 80 rounds. I mean, the way cops are these days, the racist ones, the race soldiers, I mean, it's almost like they're trying to compete for how much bullets they could put in a black man. So I'm glad that didn't happen. What I don't like is some of the responses from some people that are saying, "Oh, I'm proud of the fact that they complied. I'm proud of the fact that they handled it so well as gentlemen." Oh no, because if it was somebody else and they would have said, "What are you doing to me? You are not arresting me. You should not be arresting me." And if they weren't of our complexion, the situation would have been very different. Don't you two agree? Don't y'all agree with that, right?
Oh yes. I was about to say hell yes, but oh yes.
Okay. So we know that for a fact. I hate the fact that we have to be so docile and so submissive and so much sissified and punctified when it comes to the police arresting us for people to respect our actions. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Now let me go to the police more. The commissioner, the chief, whatever the heck he is, he's a coon in capital letters. How dare you say that they were justified? How dare you? You know, I ain't with that. And you know what? I have a problem with that, politically with that city. That brings up something for me, okay? I have a problem with the justice system everywhere, but specifically in that city. And this is going to segue into Bill Cosby since we're talking about Pennsylvania and Philly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Meek Mill. Real quick, rapper Meek Mill. He is locked up for some bull crap. The judge who sentenced him, she's black, she's a coon. The point I'm making is just because they black when skin color doesn't mean that they are our brother and our sister. They are not. That judge who did what they did to Meek Mill, well, you know, he didn't sign with my nephew or cousin or whatever, or auntie and TT and them, you know, I got a bias against him. No. Police officer, they were justified, they had charges of trespassing and all this other stuff. No. Just because somebody calls the cops on you doesn't mean the cops got to come guns blazing. Now, they didn't come guns blazing, but they came with a lot of cops. That's a lot of cops for two men.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of officers. Okay? The point I'm making is, and let me get back to my general point. I need to hand it off because I said enough. This is kind of like my final thought, almost, only on a Starbucks situation. The thing is that we're going to do two things. We're either going to do something or do nothing. Let me define something. Something is, at this point, we're going to have to, this is hard, but once upon a time, Magic Johnson had all these Starbucks, right? I don't know if he still does. Those were the ones that we should be patronizing. If it's going to be anything that is on. At this point, if we're going to have meetings, if the store's not black owned, then we really shouldn't be meeting there like that. We really shouldn't. And now I'm not blaming all Starbucks. I'm just getting at this particular chain that had the problem. But what I'm saying is, as black folks, when we walk into any business, we need to be very aware of our surroundings and our situations when things arise, because this can happen to any of us. Any of us. I do not know the number one or 100% solution to this issue, but what I do know is that we're in a situation where we're having things happening that are slowly awaken some of us up who are not awakened. And that is, we live in a system of white supremacy. The times that we're living in remind us of that of a Jim Crow, even though Jim Crow laws are gone, but we're dealing with Jim Crow's brother, James Crow Esquire. It's an old school term that I used to hear. And that anywhere we meet, if it's not in our own home, even in our own home, we got to be careful. But that is our struggle. And nobody else can relate to that. They was meeting with a white counterpart. That white counterpart is oblivious and has no idea to the things that we face as black men, black women, and children. So that ain't even his fault. You know what I mean? Obviously, but these are the things that we're faced with. And what I want to say to white people out there, respectfully, if you're going to be our friend even in the struggle. That's real.
It's real, yeah.
Because we have situations where we have people who are non-black as our friends, and they're friends with us as long as we're joking and laughing and making them feel good. But what about when times are bad? Are you there, and are you going to make noise? Because the guy in the store in that video was saying, what did they do? What did they do? I want to know what they did. Here's what I want to say about his reaction. Do you know that if that of a black man had that reaction to them cops demanding answers, do you know that conversation would have went left very quickly?
Speak it.
So the one thing I noticed about that guy is that he know who he is, and he know where he stands with the police. So he was not under any danger because he felt, I want to know answers. What did they do? Tell me what they did. You would have thought he was a lawyer or a judge the way he was talking. That is something that you don't see with black people in police. You don't see us having those interactions and then we actually walking away from them. You don't see that happening. So what I want to say to everybody out there, if you're going to be our friends and you ain't black, tell you something right now. If you're going to stand with us all the time, not some of the time. Okay. Jesus. I'm sorry, but that was, you know me, and you know I'm passionate about stuff like this.
Right.
So I just had to get that out.
So Zaccheus, you have the article, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Zaccheus,
All right. Are we moving on to Bill Cosby, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We are. All right. Let's go ahead and let's talk about Bill Cosby. Let's talk about what's going on with that. Talk about Janice Dickerson's statement, if you're able to find that, and read that. Start from the beginning of the article, because it leads right into her thing. Go ahead, Zaccheus.
All right. Okay. Janice Dickerson says she covered up Cosby's rape in her memoir. Testified that she wanted that revealing the assault would ruin her career. She left it out of her book. This is Janice Dickerson. She left it out of the book. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Former supermodel continues. Janice Dickerson testified at Bill Cosby retrial on Thursday that she fabricated parts of her memoir, including a story that she buffed the disgraced and comedian's advances. It's all fabrication because I wanted the paycheck for my kids. Now, this is what Janice is saying. I wanted the paycheck for my kids. Dickerson testified in the Montgomery County in Pennsylvania, where Cosby was charged with sexually assaulting a former Temple University women's basketball coach in 2004. One of the 5 women set to testify for the prosecution to bolster the account of chief accuser Andrea Constant, said real story of her 1982 encounter with Cosby in the Lake Tahoe, California hotel room was that she drugged her and raped her.
He drugged her. That's what it says.
He drugged her and he raped her. True that is, but anyway, we don't know. We don't know.
Go to the next quote where she was talking about how he's America's dad.
Oh, here was America's dad on the top of me. Man with 5 children. And I remember thinking how wrong it was. How very, very wrong. Dickerson said she later confronted Cosby and wanted to hit him. Punch him in the face, she said.
Okay,
Boy, she wanted to punch him in the face. What's up with that?
Yeah, read more because we're gonna get into the good of it. Where she said she admitted to fabricating
parts of her 2002 ghost-written memoir, No Lifeguard on Duty, the accidental life of
the first super.
Yeah, life of she testified. Supermodel. Oh, okay. Under cross-examination by Cosby's attorney, Tom Mizuru. That's how you pronounce it, Tom Mizuru.
I don't know,
okay,
but it's all right.
Book. Dickerson says she rebuffed Cosby advances, popped 2 and went to sleep. She testified that she sexually assault was cut from the memoir because her publisher, Judith Reagan, said it could ruin her entire career. Examination, Dickerson said her memoir account of that night was all fabrication for a
paycheck.
Oh, the book's ghostwriter, she said, took poetic license when Missouri published Dickerson to explain the contradiction between the book and her courtroom. The courtroom story of assault, she replied, they weren't there and you weren't there. And I'm telling the real story.
Read her last quote, and then we're going to talk about this. Where it says she added, see that?
Oh, she added, I put my hand on the Bible and I swore I wasn't under oath when I wrote the book.
Okay. That's why I want to end it. I don't want to read the whole thing. It's too long. Cinema, I need you on this first.
Okay.
So the woman said 2 things popped out. Number 1, I knew the woman, no, a couple things. But the woman, years ago, when this all started with her accusations, I knew something was wrong in the beginning because her stories changed in interviews. It seemed like every time she got interviewed, something was different. Something. She has a history of, I wouldn't say lawsuits, but she got a history of fabrication. Oh, dang. Matter of fact, let me be careful because I don't want her suing me. She has a history of alleged fabrication. Okay?
Yeah.
She has a history of allegedly doing a lot of lawsuits. One of them being against Omarosa, allegedly, because they did a show together, Surreal Life, and supposedly they got into some real beef.
Yep.
Okay? So, this, this woman has been on America's Top Model. She was once a model herself. This is the reason why she's getting a lot of light on this, because she's somebody with a name, or at least had a name. So this is why, she's getting more talked about than any other woman. Another woman after her who got a lot of notice, but not anymore because she ain't getting on the witness stand, is Beverly Johnson. But she not in the courtroom, so ain't nobody talking about Beverly right now. Y'all know who Beverly is. But anyway,
Of course.
so you know, this situation is looking very bad. Not just for Cosby, but for her. And I don't even feel sorry for her, because my whole thing is, why you up there lying? Why you up there? Or what she's saying is, when I wrote the book, I wasn't under oath, so it's a little different. But now that I'm under oath, here's the deal. I mean, you're hurting your credibility. So here's my thing, Cinema. With this testimony and all this that came forward, should it just throw the whole case away at this point? It shouldn't have got reopened to begin with. But at this point, should I just throw the whole case away?
Hold on. Let's just start with why. This guy, if I become DA or Attorney General or whatever, I forgot what office.
Yeah.
If I get elected, I'm going after Cosby.
District Attorney.
Only reason why this is going on, because I remember those campaign ads.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, this is in my backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else. How many? The administration before? Nobody else was trying to go after him. This guy gets elected, and all of a sudden, this is going to trial. First time was a hung jury. And these things on the stands, because they don't give you the day by day on the national feed or what happens on the stands, these things were happening in the last trial. The reason why the jury got hung. Now they had a controversy going in that one of the guy had already had his verdict ready, and they had to deal with that before the retrial even started. Number one, I'm under oath, but you can't be sued from slander from a book. People have. And payday, I wanted a payday for my kids. I put my hands on the Bible. I swore I wasn't under oath when I wrote the book. That's a direct quote.
Mm-hmm. And a ghostwriter. She said a book.
A ghost.
Yeah.
And then the account in the book was written by ghostwriter. Oh, y'all don't remember PBS. So, what are we supposed to believe? Number one, your credit. Then we didn't even read the part about the outburst where she tried to go off and she went crazy screaming at Bill Cosby, and it was so bad they requested a mistrial.
Word. No shirt on. Anyway, go ahead.
Wow.
But that was denied. You don't hear the national news talking about this. But we talked about media a couple of episodes ago. Now let me move on real quick to finish. Mm-hmm. This is totally ridiculous. This particular witness. Now, I don't know what he's done or haven't done, but they're having problems proving it in a court of law. Even a recent one that's not beyond the statute of limitation. Where's your evidence? And then you're bringing in stuff that's inadmissible, in my opinion, because you can't charge him for it. I understand people being afraid and stuff like that. And I'm not even, I'm not on the Me Too, but it's like, this is not somebody who's a victim. This is somebody who just got caught up in a lie. Now, we don't even know what happened in the room. We'll never know now.
Yeah, at this point.
Because if something did happen to her, her trying to cash in on it just ruined it.
It did.
Even if something did happen to her. And that would be unfortunate. Mm-hmm. Because this is why if something does happen to you, you can't do certain things because it makes you look bad.
Yeah. And
so if he drugged her and had his way, he just got to fit with her.
Yeah.
We don't, because I ain't going to sit here and be like, I'm with Bill. I ain't traveling with Bill. I don't know what Bill Cosby does. I love Bill Cosby. Yeah. Bill Cosby himself, I didn't throw my Bill Cosby stuff out.
Right.
But I don't, but that's not vouching for the character of a man. I don't know. That's true. As far as this looks bad. Mm-hmm. Because these are your words.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
They were,
Oh yeah.
And now because of that, I'm telling the real story. So basically, you just drugged this dude in a book for a ghostwriter's sensationalism of it. You didn't even have nothing to do with the telling of it. You gave him a little bit of information and let him go wild. What? It's a script writer.
Yeah.
That's what they usually call it. But now your credibility's shot because you wanted a payday. And it's sad if she really was a victim. I just want that to be clear.
Right.
But I don't know now. I'm just saying this like this. And then of course, he's a black man,
and it's a white woman.
Yeah. Right. And then something like this breaks down on the stand. It's like sometimes, like it's like when the guy messed with all the little girls, the physician, nobody wrote books, nobody did nothing. They nailed that guy. All the girls got to address him.
They sure did.
And that's how you got to handle your business. If somebody does, don't try to make money and not until, take care of that legally. And I know it's hard, but you got to come at them as quick as possible, because the sad thing in this society, the longer you wait, the longer you lose credibility. But when you do something like this and you break down on the stand and then you go crazy and everything, and you get caught up in a lie.
Yeah.
But now you're upset because if it happened to you, your credibility is gone. You can't lose your credibility. And that, and there's enough freaks getting, away with stuff as it is,
Yeah.
who are doing stuff to women. That's ridiculous. So we don't know everything. We're not in the courtroom daily. We hear reports. So as I'm saying this, I want you to know, but you just killed your credit. You just killed your credibility. And then having a tantrum like a kindergarten kid didn't help your case.
Yeah.
Where you had grounds for a mistrial and then having to select a jury again. It's getting crazy out here again. And so this is ridiculous. Okay, we know you need to make money for your kids, but you have a history, like alleged history. You have an alleged history, and then they got you on the stand, and these are quotes, things you said.
Yep.
Nobody got a gun to your head in a courtroom. Nobody's forcing you to say nothing, but you got caught out there.
Yeah.
And how do I believe? Your book is one account, your courtroom testimony is another account.
That's real stuff. Zaccheus, we're gonna have to close it out. Zaccheus, what's your statements on this, and then we're gonna close it out.
All of a sudden she's coming out with this stuff, and she's coming out with more allegations and more. All of us don't know, but we know that they're trying to bury Cosby for good, man, and the person elected is trying to bury him. We don't know. We wasn't there. What happened? What went down when he was with these women? But all of a sudden, 20, 30, 40 years later, now they're coming up with allegations, man. And like she said, 1986. How come we didn't report it then? But anyway, that's my opinion.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
But they won't go back 30 years on Trump.
No.
Yeah.
They won't go. They won't go years back on Ben Roethlisberger either. You ain't even got to go that far back on him. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. They won't even go back 1 year. Shoot. So, all right. So,
and football players that they actually have proof on.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna get up out of here. Cinema, you have any closing statements? Cinema.
We will. They go to the same set. love you, they take you down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, the audio was cutting out there. Jesus. All right.
You want me to say it again real quick?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead. Sorry.
you know, they love you when you're black, when you're coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get the same treatment in this country.
Mm-hmm.
But when they want you out, they're coming for you. So watch your back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. So Zaccheus, where can they reach you, Zaccheus?
You can reach me at Wayne Backus 2 on Twitter. Also, you can reach me on Instagram at Zaccheus B73 or Wayne Backus. You can hit me up on Wayne Backus 2 on Instagram. Also on Facebook, Wayne Zaccheus Backus.
All right. Lord help me. All right, Cinema, where can they reach you?
Look up Cinemascapes or Cinemascapes Music on Facebook. Cinemascapes at Cinemascapes on Twitter and IG.
All right. You can reach me at the Fifth General. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all right? Ladies, I'm sorry.
Yeah, man.
Oh, God. I'm sorry. At the Fifth General. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All right, so we're going to get up out of here. Signing off. It's the Fifth General. Zaccheus Cinemascapes. We'll see y'all next time on the Round Circle.
Peace.
All right, peace.